What if I told you the $2 jar sitting on the shelf at your local grocery store does exactly what a $400 salon treatment promises and does it permanently, not temporarily? Not for a few weeks, permanently. Right now, millions of people are driving to salons, sitting in chairs for 3 hours and handing over hundreds of dollars for treatments that wear off in 60 days. Then they come back and pay again and again and again. Meanwhile, this $2 jar has been sitting there the whole time. I am not talking about some obscure ingredient you have never heard of. I am not talking about a new discovery or a trending product. I am talking about something your grandmother knew, something women in India, in Polynesia, in Egypt have used for 4,000 years to grow hair so thick and so long it seems physically impossible. Coconut oil. And before you roll your eyes, stay with me. Because what I am about to show you is not a folk remedy. It is not an old wives' tale. It is molecular science. And once you understand exactly why it works at the structural level, you will never look at your salon the same way again. Here is what nobody in the hair industry wants you to know. They are not hiding this from you because it does not work. They are hiding it from you because it works too well. Stay until the 8-minute mark. That is where I reveal the exact protocol, the precise amounts, the exact timing that salons are actively spending money to bury. Let me be direct with you about something. The global hair care industry is worth $87 billion, not million, billion, $87 billion every single year. And that number grows bigger every year, not because hair is getting more damaged, but because the system is designed to make sure you never actually solve the problem. Think about that for a second. $87 billion. That is larger than the entire GDP of most countries on this planet. Now ask yourself one question. Does that sound like an industry that wants to give you a permanent solution? Because permanent solutions are the enemy of recurring revenue. Here is how the trap works. You buy a shampoo. That shampoo contains sodium lauryl sulfate, an industrial detergent, the same class of chemical used to degrease engines, and it strips every trace of natural oil from your scalp. Your hair becomes dry and brittle, so you buy a conditioner. The conditioner coats your hair with silicones that create buildup over time. The buildup makes your hair feel heavy and lifeless. So you buy a clarifying shampoo to remove the buildup. The clarifying shampoo strips your scalp again, and the entire cycle resets. This is not an accident, this is architecture. Every product in that chain was designed to create the need for the next product. They are not selling you hair care. They are selling you a subscription you never agreed to. And the salon model is even more aggressive. The average keratin treatment costs between $200 and $400 and lasts approximately 3 months. After 3 months, the bonds it created begin to break down. And here is the part they do not tell you: the treatment itself accelerates that breakdown over time, so your next appointment comes faster and costs more. The average American woman spends $55,000 on her hair over the course of her lifetime. $55,000, that is a down payment on a house, that is a college education, that is a retirement contribution, and almost none of it was necessary. They did not hide coconut oil from you because it is ineffective. They buried it because one $2 jar used correctly replaces 12 products in your cabinet and breaks the cycle completely. One purchase, no repeat, no dependency. That is not a product to them. That is a threat. But to understand why this works so completely, why it operates at a level that no synthetic product can replicate, we need to go back. Not 10 years, not 50 years, 4,000 years. 4,000 years ago, in the desert heat of ancient Egypt, the most powerful people on earth had a hair secret. The Ebers Papyrus, written around 1550 BC, the oldest surviving medical document in human history, contains detailed formulations using coconut oil for scalp treatment and hair restoration. These were not folk remedies passed between peasants. These were the protocols of pharaohs, of royalty, of people who had access to every resource the ancient world could offer, and they chose this. When archaeologists examined the remains of Ramesses II, one of the most celebrated pharaohs in Egyptian history, they found something extraordinary. His hair, after 3,200 years, was still intact, still structured, still holding its form. The preservation methods used on his body included coconut-based compounds applied directly to the hair shaft. 3,200 years. Let that number sit with you. Move east to India, and the story deepens. The Ayurvedic medical system, 5,000 years old, the longest continuously practiced medical tradition in human history, classifies coconut oil as what translates directly to the nectar of hair. Not a treatment, not a remedy, the foundational daily practice. Women in the southern regions of India, where coconut oil application is still a daily ritual, consistently show the lowest rates of hair thinning and hair loss anywhere on the planet. Not occasionally, consistently, across generations. Travel further to the islands of Polynesia. Women in Samoa, in Tonga, in the Cook Islands are documented across centuries of explorer accounts as having hair of extraordinary length and density well into their 60s and 70s. No heat tools, no synthetic products, no salon appointments. Coconut oil, applied with the same consistency their grandmothers taught them. 3 completely separate civilizations, 3 completely separate corners of the world, all arriving at the same answer independently. And then, in 2003, researchers at the University of Mumbai published a study in the Journal of Cosmetic Science that finally explained why. It was the first time modern science caught up to what ancient cultures already knew. Their finding was singular and unambiguous. Coconut oil is the only oil tested that demonstrably penetrates the interior structure of the hair fiber rather than simply coating the surface. Every other oil sits on top. Coconut oil goes inside. 4,000 years of human observation, now confirmed by a laboratory. This is not tradition. This is not culture. This is evidence accumulated across millennia that the industry you are paying $87 billion a year has been working very hard to make you forget. Before I give you the exact protocol, the precise amounts, the exact timing, the specific technique that makes this work at a molecular level, I need you to do one thing: hit subscribe. Right now. This is exactly the kind of content that gets flagged, demonetized, and removed. I do not know how long this video stays up. The full formula is 60 seconds away. But if this channel disappears tomorrow, subscribing is the only way you find it again. Now let me show you exactly why this works, not in theory, but at the molecular level. Your hair is not a simple strand. It is a 3-layer structure. The outermost layer is called the cuticle, a series of overlapping scales, like roof tiles, that protect everything underneath. Beneath that is the cortex, the core of the hair fiber, made almost entirely of a protein called keratin. This is where your hair gets its strength, its elasticity, its structure. At the very center is the medulla, largely irrelevant to this conversation, but it exists. Everything that determines whether your hair is healthy or destroyed happens at the relationship between the cuticle and the cortex. Here is what your shampoo is doing to that relationship every single time you wash your hair. Sodium lauryl sulfate, listed on almost every commercial shampoo bottle, is a surfactant so aggressive it was originally developed as an industrial degreaser. When it contacts your cuticle, it forces those overlapping scales open. That allows it to strip oil from the cortex. Your hair feels clean because it has been stripped of everything, including the structural proteins that were keeping it intact. Every wash, a measurable amount of keratin leaves your hair permanently. It does not come back. This process is called protein loss. And it is the actual reason your hair breaks, splits, and thins over time. Not genetics, not aging. Protein loss caused by repeated chemical stripping. Now here is where coconut oil becomes something extraordinary. Coconut oil is composed of approximately 50% lauric acid, a medium-chain fatty acid, with a molecular structure that is uniquely small and linear. Most oils have large, branched molecules. They cannot fit through the gaps in the cuticle layer, so they sit on the surface, create the appearance of shine, and wash away completely at the next shampoo. This is every argan oil, every jojoba oil, every marula oil on the market. Surface coating, nothing more. Lauric acid is different. Its molecular geometry allows it to pass through the cuticle and bond directly with the keratin proteins inside the cortex. It does not coat, it integrates. The practical result of this is measurable. A study published in the Journal of Cosmetic Science measured protein loss in hair treated with coconut oil before washing versus hair with no treatment. The coconut oil group showed 39% less protein loss, not a marginal difference, 39%. There is one more mechanism worth understanding, and this one is responsible for the majority of damage most people never connect to their routine. It is called hygral fatigue. Every time your hair gets wet, the fiber swells by approximately 20% as it absorbs water. Every time it dries, it contracts back. Wet, swell, dry, contract. Repeated daily, this expansion and contraction physically fractures the interior of the hair fiber from the inside out. You cannot see it happening, but over months and years, it is the primary driver of breakage, frizz, and loss of elasticity. Coconut oil creates a hydrophobic barrier around the hair fiber that does not block water entirely, but critically slows the rate at which water enters and exits. The swelling still happens, but it happens gradually. The contraction happens gradually. The mechanical stress drops dramatically. This is not moisturizing. This is not conditioning. This is structural protection at the molecular level, and no synthetic product in any salon currently replicates it. Here is everything you need. 4 items. All of them already in your home or available for under $10 total. 1 jar of virgin coconut oil, unrefined, cold pressed. This is critical. The word virgin on the label means the lauric acid content is intact. Refined coconut oil has been processed at high heat, and the molecular structure you need has been partially destroyed. Check the label. If it says refined, put it back. The unrefined jar costs $2, one wide-tooth comb, one old towel you do not mind staining, one shower cap, or a standard plastic bag. That is the entire toolkit. Now here's how you use it. There are 3 protocols. You choose based on the current condition of your hair. The first protocol is for maintenance and prevention. This is for anyone whose hair is in reasonable condition but wants to stop the damage cycle permanently. This is called the pre-wash treatment. Take 2 to 3 tablespoons of coconut oil and warm it between your palms until it becomes fully liquid. Starting at the mid-shaft of your hair, not the roots, not the scalp, work the oil downward to the ends. Use your wide-tooth comb to distribute it evenly from mid-length to tip. Every strand should be lightly coated. Put on your shower cap, set a timer for exactly 45 minutes, not 20, not an hour. 45 minutes is the window where lauric acid penetration is maximized without the oil oxidizing on the hair surface. After 45 minutes, wash normally with whatever shampoo you use. Do not add extra shampoo passes trying to strip every trace of oil. A light residue is not a problem, it is protection. Your hair will feel different immediately, not greasy. Softer. With a weight and movement that no conditioner has ever given you. Do this once every week. The second protocol is for damaged hair. Bleached, heat-damaged, chemically treated, or hair that breaks regularly. This is the overnight mask. Apply a more generous amount of coconut oil, 4 to 5 tablespoons, focusing heavily on the areas where you see the most breakage and on every split end from mid-shaft to tip. Braid or twist your hair loosely to keep it contained. Wrap with your cotton towel or an old t-shirt, not a regular towel. The terry cloth creates friction that damages wet and oil-coated hair. Sleep with it in. 8 hours of uninterrupted contact allows the lauric acid to fully saturate the cortex and begin rebuilding the protein bonds that washing has stripped away over months or years. Wash it out in the morning. Do this once per week for 4 consecutive weeks. After 4 weeks, the difference in breakage alone will be visible. The third protocol is for thinning hair and hair loss. This targets the scalp directly. Take 3 tablespoons of coconut oil and add 6 drops, not more, of rosemary essential oil. A study published in SkinMed Journal in 2023 compared rosemary oil directly against 2% minoxidil, the active ingredient in Rogaine, over a 6-month period. Rosemary oil produced equivalent hair count results with 0 of the scalp irritation side effects. 6 drops into 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. Mix it in your palm. Apply directly to your scalp in sections, not to the hair length. Using the pads of your fingers, never your nails massage in slow circular motions for 5 full minutes. This is not optional. The massage mechanically increases blood circulation to the hair follicles, and circulation is the delivery system for every nutrient your follicles need to produce new growth. Leave it on for 30 minutes, then wash. Now here are the 4 mistakes that will make none of this work. Using refined coconut oil. The lauric acid content drops by up to 40% during the refining process. You will get surface coating and nothing else. Applying to the scalp if your hair is naturally oily. Coconut oil on an already oily scalp blocks follicles and accelerates the exact problem you are trying to solve. Rinsing with very hot water. Hot water forces the cuticle open and pulls out the lauric acid you just spent 45 minutes putting in. Use cool or lukewarm water only, and using too much. More is not better here. 2 to 3 tablespoons covers shoulder-length hair completely. Using half a jar creates buildup that requires aggressive washing to remove, and aggressive washing defeats the entire purpose. The protocol is simple. The ingredients cost almost nothing. And the results are not cosmetic, they are structural. You are not masking damage. You are stopping it at the source. Let us talk about the actual money. Not in vague terms. In exact numbers, a single keratin smoothing treatment at a mid-range salon costs between $200 and $400. It lasts approximately 3 months. That is $1,600 per year minimum just to maintain straight, frizz-free hair. The overnight coconut oil mask does the same thing to your cuticle layer for 50 cents per application. 52 applications per year, $26 total. Olaplex number 3. The most recommended at-home bond repair treatment in the world, endorsed by every major hair influencer, costs $30 per bottle and lasts approximately 1 month. That is $360 per year to rebuild the protein bonds your shampoo is destroying. The pre-wash coconut oil protocol does the same thing measurably, scientifically, 39% protein loss reduction for 20 cents per use, around $10 per year. Hair growth serums average $80 per month, $960 per year for ingredients that have inconsistent clinical backing. The coconut and rosemary scalp protocol costs $3 per month, $36 per year, with a study behind it that matched pharmaceutical results. Added up across a single year: keratin treatments, bond repair products, growth serums, deep conditioning masks at $25 per salon visit. The average person spending seriously on hair care is spending between $1,200 and $2,000 annually. The coconut oil equivalent of that entire routine costs $24 per year. The difference is $1,176 every year. For results that are not worse, they are measurably better because you are treating the cause instead of buying products designed to perpetuate it. Over 10 years, that is $11,760. That is not a savings. That is money that was taken from you systematically, deliberately by an industry that understood exactly what it was doing. They knew coconut oil worked, they knew it the entire time, and they built an $87 billion industry on the assumption that you would never find out. That assumption just failed. What you now know is not a trend. It is not a hack. It is 4,000 years of documented human knowledge, confirmed by modern molecular science, that an entire industry spent decades and billions of dollars in marketing to bury underneath a mountain of branded bottles and salon appointments you never needed. Let that land for a moment. Every split end you stressed over, every thinning patch that kept you up at night, every $100 treatment you saved up for and sat through and watched fade after 8 weeks. None of it had to happen. The solution was $2. It was always $2. And the only reason you did not know is because someone profited every single time you did not. That ends today. You now have the science. You have the exact protocols. You have the numbers. You have everything you need to walk away from that system completely and permanently starting tonight with ingredients that cost less than a cup of coffee. But here's the thing about information like this. It only changes anything if it spreads. Right now, someone you know is booking a keratin appointment they cannot afford. Someone you know is buying their 4th bottle of a growth serum that is not working. Someone you know is convinced their hair is simply broken beyond repair and there is nothing they can do. Tag them. Share this video. Not for my numbers, for theirs. The industry wins when this information stays contained. It loses the moment you share it. You watched until the end. That already makes you different from most people. Now do the one thing they do not want you to do. Tell someone.